Hey, what's up YouTube? It is K-Rod here. I'm back with another good video for all of you guys. I'm gonna be talking about two fighters in this video. I'm gonna be talking about my preferable next 5 opponents for Xander Zayas and the homie Elon Dejesus. So, I'm going to give a shout out to Elon. Thank you for commenting on one of my videos that I did on you. I wish you nothing but success for your career and everything that you do. And I hope you beat up on Rajon Rondo's long lost son, Rajon Chance, in a trilogy. Hopefully that could be for like a world title or something. But yeah, like I hope that happens because I think Elon, he's a damn good fighter, and I think like to me personally, I think his style is good enough for him to be at the top. So I don't ever see him ever really being how should I say, exposed. And I think he's only gonna get better. So yeah, shout out to Elon once again. And yeah, let's get right to it. Alright, so I came up with a good number of opponents that I wanted to give for Xander. And I don't know if you guys can agree with me, but this is like my potential 5 opponents for Mr. Xander El Duro Zayas. So yeah, let's get right to it, and then we're gonna start with Xander, and then we're gonna go with Mr. Elon Dejesus. So number 1, me preferably, I would go with Leon Lawson III. I think this is a really good, tough opponent for Xander, simply because Leon, he's a very big, huge, super long, super welterweight fighter. He's 6'5", with a 79-inch arm reach, and he does have pop in his punches. It's not like, it's not like Leon can't punch. He knows how to take somebody out if he can take them out. But I say that the biggest thing with Leon is that he leaves himself wide open for a hard counter, when he's not, defending himself properly in the pocket. So I think Xander, he can expose him and he could definitely beat him. But don't be fooled. I think this is a 50-50 fight. And I may be crazy for saying that Leon Lawson, would be that type of opponent that could be a person to beat for Xander, but I think this is a great step up because they're both in the same, ballpark as far as, where their careers are going. So I think if Xander wants to make those bigger names at 154 be mentioned, I think this is a great step up in competition to add to his resume and see where that goes, because I think Leon Lawson, he's just as dangerous as anybody else at 154. And I think this is a really, really tough opponent for Xander. So, that's opponent number 1. Opponent number 2, I would probably go with Brian Mendoza. Simply because Brian Mendoza, he's a very tough opponent himself too. Obviously he's gotten some good quality wins over Rosenberg Gomez, Thomas, Cornflake, Lamana. Even though that fight, that was a really, somewhat dirty fight. And then, everything else isn't really that good. But as far as his resume goes, he has an amazing resume. Or he has a good, decent resume, I'm sorry. And he's also trained by, Ismael Salas, the Cuban trainer that trains Yordenis Ugas. So I think this is a good style matchup for Xander, simply because he is a boxer puncher and Xander, he's a boxer puncher. So I think Brian Mendoza, he's a huge super welterweight fighter that's not going to go down. You have to actually break that man down in order to win. So he's a good, long, orthodox fighter. I think Xander, he has a He has longer arm reach than Brian, but still, I think this is a very difficult style matchup. I think this guy is going to expose a lot of holes at Xander, and I think Xander, if he's able to figure out the puzzle, then yeah, I think that could definitely be the thing. The problem is just how does Xander's punch resistance hold up from the punches from Brian, because Brian, he's not some volume puncher. He can definitely hit. I would kind of make him more like a semi-punching type of person. But he's definitely a semi-boxer puncher, versus from just being a volume puncher. So I think Brian's semi-pop will definitely give you some huge issues. So, whatever would happen out of this potential fight, I think Brian could definitely give Xander a lot of issues. And I think this is a great step up in competition because, Xander, he's, almost nearing 20 plus wins or 20 plus matches. So, I mean, heading into his 13th bout, I think it would be better to try to go after a guy like this or go after a guy like, Leon Lawson, the third. So that's opponent number 2. Opponent number 3 that I would possibly recommend would possibly be Jamante Clark. I kind of been saying that for a while. I think Jamante Clark is a great opponent. I think Jamante, he's a very difficult opponent because he's a southpaw and he has a crazy, amazing arm and height reach advantage over Xander. So I don't know how this fight will play out, but I think knowing that he got knocked out by Cordell Booker pretty much just showed that Jamante, he has a really, how should I say, he has a somewhat weak chin, but I will say that he does have a great, great offensive read output on when to strike. And I think if Jamante, if he's able to correct his mistakes that he did with Cordell Booker, I think Jamante, he could give Xander lots of trouble, just simply because how he's built and how he's able to, come through his basic fundamentals, when he's able to use them. Obviously, I think that's what gives Xander, all the most trouble, because obviously in the Luis Sanchez fight, when he was able to hit Xander with flush shots just by simply using the jab and just timing, let the hooks and shit to make Xander uncomfortable, and then working to Xander's body, in which Jamante, he's a good body puncher himself too. I think Xander, he can easily break down, and that's going to be a really 50-50 tough fight, because Jamante Clark, he's no joke. He can still hurt you, but at the end of the day, it's just all about how the style favors itself out to make everything come back of what we want to see. So I don't know. I think this is a good opponent as far as a number 3 potential opponent for Mr. Xander Zayas. I think it's a good fight, and I think it will definitely make things a lot easier. So I think that will be a good thing to do in the future for Xander to take a tough opponent in Jamante Clark. I would also like to see, I was going to say Jorge Garcia, but if that's not a possible opponent, I would like to see him in there with, I was going to say Nathaniel Gallimore, but I think Nathaniel Gallimore, that's a little bit too early. I think wait it out, maybe at least a year or two. But Nate Gallimore, he's a good 4th opponent. I don't see why not. Nate Gallimore, he's a very tough, difficult opponent that's going to give Xander a lot of issues. And I think Xander, he could definitely give Nate Gallimore a crazy amount of problems, in which that could be a very good potential fight. Other fighters that I like to see, I may be pushing it, but I like to see Cordell Booker. I think Cordell Booker is a very good opponent. I think his style is going to give Xander a lot of fucking issues, because Cordell, he may not be the biggest puncher in the world, but that man, he knows how to outbox you and make you work hard for, your rounds that you get, or that you get over him. So I think Cordell Booker is an amazing test for Xander. I think that will give Xander all the biggest problems in the world, and I think his athletic ability that he can do to Xander will basically take everything out of his own element, and Xander, he'll have all the problems to deal with a southpaw, because I don't think Xander has ever faced a southpaw yet. I think he's only faced orthodox fighters, but still, I think Cordell Booker is a very good, credible name to take out. Or I actually wouldn't mind Takeshi Inoue. That's a good name. Or Raul Curiel, who just recently defeated Kendo Castaneda. So I think that's a really good fighter to look out for, if I'm not mistaken, if he does still fight at 154. But yeah, I think that's a really good name to go out, or to go after. But yeah, I think that's good. Oh, wow, he actually went back to 147? Oh. Well, I have no clue. I mean, if he's fighting at 147, then so be it, but I could have sworn he was fighting at 154, but yeah. Yeah, but I wouldn't mind that fight. I also wouldn't mind Carlos Ocampo. I think Carlos Ocampo is also a really difficult fight for Xander. I don't know if he's still fighting. Some say he's not fighting no more, and I actually would like to see that, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much based off of what Top Rank is going to give to him. So obviously, the stupid politics that Top Rank is going to play for Xander's, career, I would really hope it's not being moved, into that direction. But I think it's just really stupid. Like, if we're going to just sit here and say, why the hell, is he fighting a bunch of no-name fighters, and then he's beating up on them, and then the minute he steps up, he gets his ass, knocked out, and I don't want to see that for him. I'm just being honest based off of what I see out of him. And I think it would be better to see Xander in there with all the tougher lions, in the, I would say, top 50 or top 100. And I think if he does do that more leading into the future, Xander, he'll scale harder to become a better fighter. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think Xander, he's definitely on his way to bigger and better things. But let's talk about Mr. El Leon, Mr. Elon Dejesus. So, obviously, Elon, he got that robbery decision loss to Mr. Rajon Rondo's long-lost son, Rajon Chance. And I'm just going to sit here and say Elon won that fight, hands down. And, Rajon, he did not win that fight because he got his ass whipped in both fights. But let's talk about the future opponents that I'd like to see Elon in there with. See, now, I don't know any of these guys at 122, but I will say, if there is a possibility in the future in which 122 is a stacked division, I keep forgetting, man, there's so many people in this division, but I have no clue where to start. Yeah, you got some of these guys that are I don't even know, man. Their records are are a little bit suspect to me. But I'll start with the top 100. I have no clue. I might want to start with maybe Ariel Lopez. And also Carlos Jackson. He fights at this weight? Oh shit. I actually might want to see him, get it going with Elon. But I guess, honestly, like, if I'm really going to be honest, I think like the next 5 should be against, certain styles that are favored to, basically be pure boxers or boxer punchers. I think Elon, he's obviously gonna do good against those type of styles. I don't see Elon really having too much trouble at 122 because, let's just say if he becomes a champion, or I'll probably even go with I don't even know who else would even give anybody problems at 122. Like, I know Stefan Fulton, he's going to go after he gets undisputed with Akhmadaliev. But I think Angelo Leo, he might stay. Rai Salim, he might stay. Carlos Castro, he's definitely going to stay. Carlos Castro, he's a fucking beast. But either way, you got Mike Plania, he's a fucking dude. I mean, 122 is a stacked division. When who are some of these guys that you be seeing on TV, some of these guys are actually really, really good fighters. So it's not like, they're not, around. It's just that, they're just not being moved correctly in the promotional stable that they're working with. So you don't know anything about these guys. And then if they beat your favorite fighter, then you'd be like, wow, man, that's wild. How the hell did he win, against, this guy? And then come to find out, it's like, these guys are, the dark horses of the division. But I say to start out for Elon, I think Elon, he should probably go after some, undefeated fighters. I have no clue who will be in that, discussion. But maybe try to go after some of these guys that are in the maybe top 400. Try to just go for undefeated guys, because I think like the undefeated guys, that's going to, obviously scale well. But if that is something that could happen in the future, go for it. I think Elon, he's more than ready. And I don't think anybody's really going to take his number out. And I think, the more he, continues to, just step it up and just make himself known at 122, I think eventually he's going to have a pretty good career. I mean, like I said, I don't really follow like weight divisions like this because, 122 is a very, how should I say, it's a very unknown division as far as like, the fighters that are in it. But don't get it twisted, everybody fights each other, or more than everybody, does, fight each other. So, when they do fight each other more, that's when who are the best fighters, who are the best fighters in that division. So, I don't know. I think as far as where things go for Elon's career, I think Elon, he will have a pretty good career path to being a successful fighter. And I mean, don't get it twisted. I think, like what he does now, it's just going to help him become better later. So I don't know. I think like whatever happens, in these next coming fights for him, I think he's more than ready to, do his thing. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys later. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day. And Happy New Year. Bye.